We made it to chapter 4, yay! Should I be happy? I don't know.
もはや語るべき言葉は何もない。
There was nothing else to say.
物語を紡ぐ筆者がいるのなら、我らはページをめくるだけでいい。
If an author wrote stories, then our role was to simply turn the page.
ああ。だがしかし、
Ah, the conundrum.
悩ましい。過去の愛に準じる狭愛と、未来に救いがない純愛。
Mad love that was loyal to past love. Pure love that had no salvation in the future.
やあ、そこにいる君。君はどちらの恋物語がお好きかな？
Ah, you over there. Which love story do you prefer? Don't talk to me.
アルペシェールの名門クロード家には一つの秘密がある。
The prestigious Claude family of Apachel have long kept a secret. All who lived in this country knew the story of the drifter who was washed ashore long ago. He brought with him 4 books, all of which have been lost, save for one on genetics.
クロード家はそのうちの一冊をかの漂流者から直接受け取っている。
The Claude family received one of those from books from the drifter in person. The book governed the knowledge of words. From the west to the far east. A universal translation tome that made it possible to understand the words of any country. New knowledge and culture from the outside world washed up on this isolated place. The Claude served the royal family, translating and publishing foreign texts for all to understand. That was the original mission tasked to the Claude family. Monsieur Rouge Claude and Madame Amélie Claude. My parents. Which is as you might expect. They served the Apachel royal family known for its corruption. My father was an officer who served a now dead member of the royal family. He wed my mother not because of love but politics. I, Camille Claude, was born as the only son of 2 obstinately loyal citizens of the country.
カミーユ、お前がリライバーになるときは、いつかこのクロード家のもう一つの使命を伝える。
Camille, once you become a reliver, I will tell you the Claude family's other mission.
だからそれまでの自由を許す代わりにリライバーになる時が訪れた時、クロード家の当主の座とその使命を継いでほしいの。
So until then, we will allow you to do what you wish. But when the time comes, you must bear the torch of the heir of the family. What my parents told me wasn't a bad deal. So I spent my days fooling around with prostitutes day in and day out.
とある酒場で彼女ロザリーに出会うまでは。
That is until I met her at the bar, Rosalie. Rosalie lived a life scorned by society as someone who was born in the slums and became a reliver prostitute. But with her golden hair, she was so beautiful, she won everyone's hearts. I was completely captivated the moment I laid eyes on her. Yes, it was love at first sight.
苦しいほど君のことを愛してる。
I am madly in love with you.
美しいロザリー、どうか俺の妻になってく
My
れ。
beautiful Rosalie, please be my wife.
出会ったばかりの娼婦に求婚だなんて。あなた、とっても趣味が悪いわね。
Proposing to a prostitute you just met? You have bad taste, you know. She always teased me, but Rosalie wasn't like the others. She wasn't like the other girls. She never looked down on her background or her profession. She was a woman who loved beautiful flowers, who lived with the sort of grace that silenced any unreasonable award. The more I got to know her, the more I fell in love, and each day I tried to persuade her to marry me. Rosalie would laugh off my proposals, but soon,
私がこの国を呪う死神のようなあなたの財産目当ての性悪だったらどうするの？
what if I were the Grim Reaper? Or a wicked woman after your fortune?
何？その時は俺もそんな君にふさわしい悪党になればいい。
Well, in that case, I'd become a scoundrel worthy of your presence.
そうすれば俺たち嫌な奴同士でお似合いだろ。
We'd make a nice couple of jerks together, wouldn't we?
もう本当に悪趣味な人。
Oh, you really do have bad taste.
けれどそんな悪趣味なあなたが好きよ。
But I like you and your bad taste. In the end, she responded to me favorably. Then the time came for us to marry. It was then that I broke one of my promises to my parents. Turning into a reliver would make people lose the love they felt. So I gave up on extending my life. Even if we died from death's curse. We vowed that we would end our lives together at the age of 23. My parents fought back when I told them I wouldn't become a reliver, and that I would take a prostitute named Rosalie as my wife. So it wasn't Rosalie's parents that were against the relationship and about not becoming a reliver. It was Jean or Camille's parents. But they could tell no preaching would change my mind, so they gave in, saying that they would allow me what I wanted so long as I fulfilled my role as their heir until they bore another child. After some time had passed, Rosalie and I were expecting our first child.
ありがとう。本当にありがとう、ロザリー。
Thank you so much, Rosalie.
君も、君から生まれてくる子も、俺がまとめて幸せにしてやるからな。
You and our future child. I'll make sure we become a happy family.
でもまずは無事に結婚式を挙げなくちゃね。
But first, we'll have a great wedding, right? I was overjoyed. I believed that our happiness would continue until the day we died. To be honest, it was blind faith. But such happiness would not last long in a land cursed by death. The day before our small church wedding, Rosalie fell ill. She told me that her chest hurt. Rosalie thought it might be something other than morning sickness, so she went to a doctor alone. She went by herself. I had been busy preparing to succeed the family business in taking care of her. So she left without telling me anything. She didn't want to burden me any further. I never knew that would be the last time we would speak. That night, Rosalie and the tiny life growing inside her were killed.
あんたが悪いのよ、ロザリー。
It's all your fault, Rosalie.
あんただって汚らわしい娼婦のくせに自分一人だけ幸せになろうとするから。
Well, really, just because you're jealous? Bitch. You're a filthy whore no different from me, but you try to find happiness all by yourself. And this is why Jean goes after prostitutes. Her killer was a prostitute from the slums who worked with Rosalie beforehand. She was envious of Rosalie for finding happiness with a man from a noble family, so she dragged her into one of the alleys. There, she used a dull blade to stab her over and over again. The knife made its way through Rosalie's abdomen to our baby.
ローザリーなあ起きてくれよ俺の愛しい花嫁様
Rosalie, hey. Wake up, my darling bride.
俺たち明日結婚式なんだぞ
We're going to marry tomorrow.
君がいなきゃお腹にいる子供の名前
Is that you?
決められないじゃないか
How am I supposed to decide on a baby's name? The death of our love. It was more than enough to plummet me to the depths of despair. But what does Mathis have to do with any of this?
これが俺娼婦を狙う失踪事件の真犯人配達人カミーユ・クロードと
And there you have it. I'm the person behind the missing prostitutes, Camille Claude.
恋人ロザリーの本当の馴れ初めだ
That is the truth behind my beloved Rosalie.
どうだお前が盗作した小説にも劣らない素敵な愛の物語だろ
How was it? A sweet little love story better than the plagiarized one, right? It was a love story with a tragic ending. There was nothing for us to say. As if confident we wouldn't get away, he removed all of Mathis's restraints, except for those that bound him, his ankles. As for me, he didn't even bother tying down with a rope. He must have known that I had no intention of escaping now because the person in front of us looked mad as he told the story of his lost love, with a strange sense of happiness. Beneath the Claude family mansion was a hidden chamber used for experiments. Inside was a large tank filled with beautiful flowers and water. Jean. No. Camille walked over and gently brushed his hand against the glassy surface.
どうだ俺の恋人は俺が話した以上に美人だろ
Look, isn't my darling more beautiful than words could express?
愛しいロザリー
My beloved Rosalie,
くだらない嫉妬心で殺された俺にとって世界で一番美しい女
the most beautiful woman in the world who was killed by petty jealousy. He does know she's not coming back, right? Inside the tank filled with water and flowers was a woman sleeping peacefully. No, to be specific, I knew exactly who was submerged inside. She's Rosalie. Her pale skin showed no signs of warmth. It was very clear she had been dead for a while. I could only guess the stab wound he spoke of were hidden under her dress.
さすがに俺も答えて初めてリライバー技術ってもんにすがりつきかけたよ
It was hard for me to accept reality, so I finally took an interest in this blasted reliver technology.
大事な約束を破ってでもロザリーにまた会いたいってな。
I want to see Rosalie again, even if it means breaking our
けどロ
promise.
ザリーは俺との愛に準じようとしていたがゆえにバックアップを取っていなかった。
But Rosalie planned to die with her love for me, so she didn't upload a backup.
かろうじて遺体は残っているが、ロザリーをロザリーたらしめていた肝心の記憶だけはどうにもならない。
I was able to secure her body somehow, but nothing can be done about the memories that made her my Rosalie. So it resulted with him preserving her cold body in that tank. Then again, I already knew by now that this person wasn't normal at all, and wouldn't give up so easily.
まっとうな方法でロザリーを取り戻すことができないのなら、
If there was no known way of reviving Rosalie back to herself,
まっとうじゃない方法を使うまで、
then I simply need to resort to untested methods.
そのためなら俺はどんなものだって犠牲にしてみせる。
I would do it even at the expense of other people's lives. His eyes were swimming in madness. Camille continued to speak into detail about the truth behind his lies and his hopes of reuniting with his beautiful Rosalie. Look, if you want to reunite with her, just die, okay? I can make that happen. Easy. You mess with my baby, you get punished. You know, now that we know this about him, I'm really bothered by the fact that we apparently look like Rosalie. I feel like he's gonna use this to try to create a new Rosalie. In order to revive Rosalie back to her own self, I went to the Institute to find anyone who would share their knowledge with me. But no one would help. I returned to the mansion in grief. But one day, I received a letter from an unnamed soul who offered to assist me in my research efforts. This stranger gave me the technical knowledge and equipment required to implement reliver technology. And so, this mad laboratory was created. Recreating her body was one thing, but all efforts would be meaningless without a backup of her memory. I was taught the basic knowledge to create false memories by keeping my benefactor and another aspiring researcher. The rest I did on my own, and by stealing the memory data from the Institute, I succeeded in recreating Rosalie's memory. The rest was for me to properly nurture her artificial memories through my experiments. And the body I used to nurture that memory was... The body you used was me? Wait, so the reason Mathis's personality changes sometimes is...
組み込まれた記憶の影響を受けて人格ごと
Because
変動していたから。
Because my personality is influenced by the different memories implanted in me?
じゃあつまり
Then that means...
イさんやジャンとの温かな思い出も
My brother...
全部
Jean... Those happy memories are all...
そうだ。他人の記憶から作り上げた偽物。
That's right. They're fake memories that I cobbled together.
虐待していた両親も、お前が撃つべき仇も、大好きなお兄様も信頼していた執事も。
The parents who abused you, your desire for revenge, your dear brother, your loyal butler.
最初から存在すらしていなかったんだよ。
None of them really existed from the beginning. You're nearly as bad as Conrad. Which would explain why Barreau was so confused when he heard Mathis's angry accusations. As for Jean, he disguised himself with clothing and a different personality to keep neighbors unaware of his true identity.
でも、そんなことできるはずない。
No way. What you said is impossible.
仮に偽物の記憶を構築できたとしても、
Even if you could create a fake memory,
適性のないクローン体に記憶をダウンロードすれば、拒絶反応が出てすぐに死に至るはず。
the memory would have to be downloaded into a clone that matched the memory, or the clone body would die.
それができるんだな。できちゃうんだよな。
But you know, where there's a will, there's a way.
お前の培養にはリライバーとは違って普通の遺伝子は使ってないから。
The normal reliver process requires matching genes. But you were cultured differently. Huh?
本人のものじゃない記憶を肉体を作成した後ではなく、作成する前に組み込む方法。
There's actually a way to incorporate someone else's memory into a body by introducing it before the body is formed.
そっちのお嬢さんはすでにかの天才科学者から答えを得てると思うけど。
I think the young lady here knows what I'm talking about since she's spoken to that mad scientist.
シアンさんのこと。セレスさん、あの人から何か聞いたんですか？
You mean Cian? Cerez, what did he tell you? Now that he mentions it, it was back at the Institute when there was some commotion about memory backups going missing.
例えるなら大凶が近い。お前も聞いたことぐらいはあるだろう。
For example, prenatal education. You must have heard of some techniques before. Yes, like how a pregnant woman might play music and tell stories to their fetus to listen to. I heard those kinds of things can affect the baby's personality and even the memory.
それと同じ理屈だ。
Exactly.
生命になる前のとある細胞に記憶のダウンロードという名の対響を施してやれば。
This suggests downloading memory data to a cell as part of its prenatal education before life is fully formed. So you're saying it's possible to have a baby born with someone else's memory? But then whose baby is he? Don't tell me he's actually your son. That's what Cian told me before.
大凶。それに生まれる前って。
Prenatal education? Before life is formed?
さか。
It can't be.
人工的な記憶と特殊な細胞を提供してくれたたくさんの女性の犠牲から生まれた。
You're born with artificial memories and the cells provided by many, many women.
俺の愚かで可愛い 出来損ないのホムンクルス。
My cute and foolish failure of a homunculus.
あなたが配達人の噂を流し、わざわざ娼婦だけを
Ah, he's the one.
狙っていたのは。
You spread the rumor about this deliverer in order to lure up prostitutes?
そう。
Correct? Camille gave an eerie grin. He then looked at me, as a woman no different from his victims. His eyes looked over, not at my face, but rather a place lower. My abdomen.
生命になる前のとある細胞に記憶のダウンロードという名の対響を施してやれば
This suggests downloading memory data as a cell as part of its prenatal education before life is fully formed. Back then, Cian's vagueness about this cell wasn't because it was difficult to explain.
妊娠した女の腹に宿った胎児に至る前の胚細胞。
A pregnant woman is able to nurture an embryo inside her body.
その誰でもない状態の細胞になら別人の記憶を強引にダウンロードすることができる。
It is there that I can download someone else's memory before the cells take the form of a fetus.
お前は数々の犠牲と失敗を経て生み出された唯一の成功例なわけだ。
You are my one and only success, born through repeated trials and sacrifices. Question: How the hell has he been bringing prostitutes into this house with no one noticing? So he could experiment on them? Or does he have a secondary location? It was because the experiments he was referring to. It was beyond even what Cian would discuss. Jean cruelly went on to say that Mathis never had a childhood and was born only a year ago. He literally is a baby. I instinctively placed my hands over my belly as though to protect it. He was completely mad. Realizing the sacrifices made for him to be born, Mathis crumbled to the floor.
やだ。
No. No, 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 no!
お願いやめて。もうこれ以上は何もしたくない。
Please stop! I don't want to hear anymore!
これじゃ僕は一体何のために生きて
Why?
きたのか。
Why was I born? What is my life? Camille slowly walked toward Mathis and looked him in the eye.
自分で自分を否定するな。そんなこと最初から決まってるだろ。
Don't deny your own existence. Isn't it obvious? He smiled gently, patting Mathis on the shoulder. Don't touch him.
俺が愛したあの頃のロザリーを蘇らせるための。
You were born so I could revive my darling little Rosalie.
使い捨ての実験動物
You're my
に
expendable guinea pig.
なるためさ。
Mathis had finally reunited with... No. He finally met his brother for the first time, coming face to face with his sinister smile. I could almost hear Mathis's shout shatter into a million pieces. Perhaps he didn't even have any tears left to cry. Mathis dejectedly looked down to the floor. Meanwhile, Camille looked down at Mathis without any concern whatsoever.
はあ、このぐらいで黙り込むのかよ。
Can't speak, can you?
そういう人格にしようと記憶を作ったのは俺だけど、ここまでつまんないやつだと呆れるしかないわ。
I know I'm the one who created the memories to make him like this, but I can't help but be amazed by how boring he is. I glared sharply at Camille, on Mathis's behalf.
そう睨んでくれるなよ。妊娠してない女に危害を加える気は全くないんだ。
Make me stop. I dare you. Stop glaring at me like that. I have no intention of harming women who aren't pregnant. You might not think so, but I have a good reason to glare at you. Even if you implemented false memories in his mind. Mathis looked up to you and loved Camille and Jean like brothers. You don't feel anything looking at him like this?
ん？特に何も？だってそういう感情を抱くよう俺が記憶を構築したわけだし。
Not at all. I mean, I'm the one who put his memories and feelings together. He shrugged, as if he couldn't care less. Camille scratched his head, as if annoyed. Nothing I said would get through to him. I grabbed one of the weapons near me, that he must have used to kill the prostitutes.
俺を倒してマティスを実験体から解放してみせるって？
I take it you'll beat me up and free Mathis from my experiments?
やってみても構わないけど、自由になればマティスは死ぬぞ。
Go right ahead and free Mathis if you like, but he'll die. Huh? Camille scoffed at me, saying that the same would happen if he was captured by the corpse.
こいつは所詮は元素人の俺がゼロから生み出したホムンクルス。耐久度はそんなに高くない。
I pretty much created him from scratch as a homunculus. It means he's not very stable.
現に今も遺伝子が齟齬に気づき始めて、頻繁に脳が崩壊を起こしかけてるから。
In fact, even now his genes are noticing something wrong with his memories and are eating away at his sanity.
俺が毎晩最新の記憶をダウンロードしてやることでごまかし、どうにか生きながらえてるんだ。
So every night I extend his life by downloading new memories into him to fool his genes. He chuckled as if expecting me to understand.
マティスが少しでも長く生きるためには、
Which means that in order for Mathis to continue living,
お兄様であるこの俺の実験動物であり続けるしか他に選択肢はないんだよ。
his dear brother has to continue treating him as a test subject for these experiments. But if Cian finds out about this,
確かに可能だろうな。特にシアンにとっちゃ俺が開発した技術なんておもちゃみたいなもんだ。
well, I guess he could take over. After all, the technology I developed is hardly more than child's play to him.
けど違法な人体実験で作られたホムンクルスにまともな人権なんてあると思うか？
Do you seriously think he would give the test subject and homunculus at that the same rights as a normal person?
良くて実験体行き、悪くて殺処分。
Either the tests continue, or he dies.
シアンが論理を確立しながらも実際にホムンクルスを作らなかったのはそういうことじゃねえの？
Which would explain why he didn't move forward with the creating homunculus subject despite having the know-how. Camille gloated as if he attained victory. Mathis and I couldn't say a word. What he was saying might be a ruse to escape the situation. But even so, I gave up and let go of the knife. No matter how slim the possibility might be, I couldn't go against him and risk Mathis's death. Hours later, apparently Adolf and the others learned that we went missing and immediately set out to find our whereabouts. Camille told us with a smile how he told them he didn't know where we went. But because Mathis was chasing after Barreau before he went missing, they didn't see Camille as a suspect when he invited Adolf and the others over to the mansion. Similar to the missing prostitutes, they suspected Barreau to be at fault for our own disappearance.
いやー、俺が仕組んだこととはいえ、こんだけ無実の罪をかぶせられることになるとは、ブローも哀れだこと。
Man, I know I'm the one who set everything up, but I'm starting to feel bad that Barreau's getting blamed for everything. So I'm gonna take it Barreau is actually completely innocent. But is he? Because we saw him kill people, so I don't know, I'm a little confused on that front.
マティスが腹をぶっすり刺してくれたおかげで、文句を言いたくても言いに来れないだろうけどな。
Then again, Mathis did give him a good stab. So I guess he's not in any shape to come here and complain. Oh wait, is Barreau like another test subject of Camille's? Like, kind of like a... I mean, when he was talking with Mathis, he did say we. Or they did say somehow, like, we. So is he also a homunculus? Of some sorts? He wondered aloud why Barreau got so rattled while fighting Mathis. Camille tilted his head visibly, as if thinking, but didn't say another word. Then suddenly... Please.
彼女だけでもここから解放して。
Please let her go free.
ロザリーの蘇生に彼女は何の関係もないはず。だから
She has nothing to do with reviving Leslie, so please. Rather than criticizing Camille, Mathis lowered his head and pleaded for my safe release.
悪いけど、
We know
そ
too
の願い
much.
は叶えてやれない。
Sorry, but I can't do that.
彼女にはこのままお前がより人間に近くなるための実験に協力してもらう。
I'll need her cooperation in my experiments to help make you a better human.
彼女は妊婦じゃないし、ロザリーの記憶の材料になりそうな過去も有していない。
But she isn't pregnant, and she doesn't have any memories that can contribute to Rosalie's.
バッカ。彼女は不安定なお前に恋愛感情を芽生えさせてくれた最高の功労者だぞ。
You're kidding. She's the greatest contributor ever for helping you develop love in your unstable states.
恩を感じこそすれ、傷つけるような真似はしないって。
If anything, I owe her too much to harm her.
お前はするかもしれないけどな。
But you just might.
どういう意味？
What do you mean?
ロザリーの記憶を再現するにあたり、俺が直面する問題はもう一つある。
That's actually one of her problems with replicating Rosalie's memory.
それは蘇ったロザリーが俺を愛してくれている状態に戻れるかどうか。
It's whether Rosalie will return to her original state where she loved me.
リライバーのように俺との思い出がただの記録になり下がったらたまらないからな。
I can't bear to see her return as a reliver without any memories of being with me. He went on to explain that he purposefully implanted horrible memories based on feelings of love, hatred, sorrow, fear. He set those up so he could confirm whether such powerful emotions could properly transfer to the memory. Camille then continued.
だがさすが恋愛感情はあのシアン・ブロフィワーズが持て余すだけあって。
But I can see now why Cian Brofise has such problems with emotions of love.
俺や他の男の記憶を混ぜてもお前は誰にも発露させてくれず、一時は廃棄すら考えたよ。
I gave you a mix of my memories and some other guys, but it didn't seem to take. So I was this close to just terminating you.
だが彼女との出会いによってお前はその運命を逃れた。
But you were able to escape that fate because of her.
いやー、よく恋愛感情を生んでくれた、マティス。
Eureka! You found that emotion of love after all, Mathis.
これで俺を愛するロザリーを再構築できる確率がぐっと上がる。
Now that the odds of replicating my beloved Rosalie's memory are much higher.
俺も記憶の中だけとはいえ残酷に殺された甲斐があったよ。
I must admit, I'm happy I was brutally murdered. Even if it was only a false memory. He spoke ecstatically as he looked at us with crazed eyes. I was certain that he couldn't see us in front of him, only the image of his past happiness.
けどたった一度恋したからって実験が成功したとは言えない。
But just because you fell in love once doesn't mean my experiment is a success.
こういうのは何度も何度も条件を変えて繰り返すことで精度を上げていくものだからなあ。
After all, true success comes from changing the conditions and replicating the results over and over again, right? Suddenly, Camille grabbed Mathis by the neck and slammed him on top of the lab table. What are you? Before I could react, Camille touched a strange device to Mathis's neck to download memories into his mind. He plugged one of the cords in, and lights went on. A new memory forced its way inside. Stop! I reached out to try to stop the download, but the actual download speed was much faster than I could move. Before I could get to him, the download was complete. I wish I had those download speeds. The man madly seeking his lost love spoke.
明日から一日ごとにマティスの記憶を今までと異なる別人の過去に切り替えていく。
Starting tomorrow and every day afterwards, Mathis will experience a different person's memories.
その上で名前も思い出も消えた彼女にもう一度恋することができるのか。俺が確かめてやるから。
The purpose will be to see whether he will remember you and fall in love again without the assistance of his own memories.
ぜひとも愛の力ってやつを俺に証明してくれよ。 マティス。
Now prove to me what the power of love can do, little Mathis. He gently tortured the younger brother he created himself. You suck. Perhaps because he had nothing more to say. Or because he was happy. Because of the progress he made. Or maybe both. Camille freed Mathis from the device. Then he left the chamber. The only ones in the room were me and Mathis, who was looking down at the floor. He was within reach, but for some reason, my instincts were telling me not to touch him now. In fact, it was possible that nothing I said would help the situation. I need to find a way to stop Camille, but he wasn't physically binding here. He was simply taking Mathis's life hostage through threats. Taking action without a plan would only bring about the worst results. I tried to think of something as time slowly passed in the silence of the room. Then suddenly,
逃げてください。
please escape. A voice no different from a whisper. It was barely audible, but I could see him looking straight into my eyes.
次にちゃん、いえ、神優がここを訪れた時、
The next time Jean... No, Camille returns.
僕がどうにかして彼の気を引きますから。
I'll do what I can to draw his attention.
セレスさんはなんとか外に出てイブさんたちに助けを求めてください。
Once he's distracted, escape and seek help from Yves and the other Ceres.
神優の非道な実験のことを知れば、自警だ、この衛兵、研究所も
The corpse, the Royal Guard, and even the Institute will actively find out what Camille has been doing.
総力を挙げ、この研究室を潰しに来るはずですから。
They'll come here and destroy the lab,
あなたもきっと助かる。
so you'll be safe too. But I can't do that. If I do that, you're going to die. Mathis shook his head. He seemed to accept that outcome.
だって僕はたくさんの犠牲を生んで作られた偽物の命なんですから。
It's fine. After all, I'm just a fake human created through others' sacrifices.
あなたが命を懸けてまで守る価値なんてない。
My life isn't valuable enough to put yours at risk. That's not true. No matter what, I want you to live. It didn't matter if he was a human, a reliver, or homunculus. Mathis,
好きって言ってくれるんですか？
Will you say that you love me?
僕からあなたに向けたあの思いさえも
Even the sincere emotions that I felt for you,
他人から譲り受けた偽物だっていう
which
の
is fake emotions given to me by someone else. For a moment, I didn't know what he was telling me. What do you mean?
思えば僕はあなたに対し温かな感情を抱くたびに
Every time I felt this warm feeling when I thought about you.
Sorry. 不意打ちでこんないたずらをするなんて。君は相変わらずの小悪魔だな。
Now he's up to some mischief.
綺麗な金色の髪を持つ一人の女性の姿を
A
ぼんやりと重ねていました。
hazy image of a woman with beautiful golden hair would appear.
でもあれはあなたに似ているけれどあなたじゃない。
But that was someone who looked like you, and nothing more.
あの培養器の中で静かに眠っているカミーユが愛した
The
ロザリーの姿だったんです。
image I saw in my mind was the person sleeping in that tank. Camille's lover, Rosalie. Camille's memories were planted into Mathis's mind too. If that was true, then seeing me completely frozen, Mathis forced a weak, sad smile.
もう分かったでしょ。
You know what I'm trying to say, right?
僕があなたのことを好きになったのはきっと
The reason I probably fell in love with you was because
あなたが記憶の中にいる彼女に
you
よく似ていたから。
were very similar to the woman in my memories.
あなたに向けるこの愛すらも他人からの借り物だったんだ。
So the love I felt for you was for someone else all this time. The words were heartbreaking. I couldn't stop my tears from flowing. I had to stop. Mathis, who was betrayed of everything he believed in, was the one who should be crying. Seeing my tears, Mathis gently wiped them away.
だからあなたはこんなひどい僕のことは見捨てて逃げるべきです。
Which is why you should abandon such an awful person and escape from here.
登場も罪悪感もいらない。
I don't need sympathy or guilt.
今度はありのままのあなたを見て好きだと言ってくれる素敵な人と
I just want you to find someone who
幸
loves
せ
you
にな
for
って
who
く
you
ださ
are.
い。セレスさん。
I want you to find true happiness, Cerez. His slowly uttered words of deep sorrow and acceptance. Please don't say such a horrible thing. Mathis, you've never seen me as someone else before. If we're to escape, then we need to escape together.
ありがとう。その言葉だけで僕は十分に満たされました。
Thank you. Hearing that from you is enough for me.
でもこれ以上カミーユのことを放置すればまた新たな犠牲者が生まれる。
But letting Camille run free will only lead to additional victims.
いいえ、期限次第ではあなたに危害が加えられるかも。
No. Depending on his mood, he might harm you too. He continued, saying he needed to make sure that didn't happen. I couldn't refuse the strength in his eyes as he spoke. I understand. I'll try to escape and let someone know what's going on. But it's only so we can stop Camille. I haven't given up on you, Mathis. Suddenly, the door to the laboratory opened.
Omatase!
Sorry for the wait.
最近すっかり食い慣れてたお嬢さんの飯に比べりゃ粗末なもんだけど、今日は俺の料理で勘弁してくれな。
I know my cooking isn't as good as hers, but you're just gonna have to live with it. His smile was surprisingly happy as he came back with a tray full of snacks. So we get snacks as a meal, not an actual meal. You suck at taking care of us. Camille slowly walked toward Mathis, who was unable to move.
ほらよ、両手は空いてるし、飯は普通に食えるだろ？
Here you go. Your hands are open, so you should be able to eat without a problem. Then, as he was about to hand a tray over to Mathis, Mathis bit Camille's arm with all his might. Blood dripped from his arm. Despite Camille's struggle to get loose, Mathis refused to let go. Go now! I can almost hear his voice from the sharp eyes that looked at me. I'll be back. I ran past Camille and slammed the door open. I was surprised that he didn't lock the door from the inside. It felt rather odd, but now that I made my move, my only choice was to escape. I quickly ran up the dark stairs and finally returned into the family mansion. I didn't sense Camille coming after me. Mathis must somehow be keeping him at bay. I need to get out of here. I quickly ran through the familiar corridors. I finally ended up in front of the heavy door and... the entrance is locked, just as I thought. I tried the windows, but to no avail. What the... There weren't any locks like these on the windows before. Wait. Did he expect me and Mathis to somehow find out who he really was? So the reason I was able to make my escape from the laboratory so easily was...
窓が開かないなら力ずくで破ってみるのはどうだ?
I mean, I was gonna say that. But the fact that he's offering for us to do it tells me that he reinforced the glass or something. The windows don't open, why don't you break them?
まああんたの細腕じゃ自分の拳が血だらけになるだけだろうけど。
Then again, you'd probably cut up those pretty little hands of yours. Don't care, I'm getting out of here. Do what you need to do. You can always throw objects at the windows too. Where's Mathis?
腕からなんとか引き剥がした後、飯を強引に食わせたら腹がいっぱいになったとかでぐっすり眠ったよ。
I somehow got him off my arm and managed to feed him, and he fell fast asleep right before long.
あいつもまだまだ子供だよな。
He really is the same kid as always. He probably drugged him with the food he brought. Luckily, I didn't eat any of the food myself. But it didn't change the fact that I couldn't escape. The only thing I can do now is yell loudly enough so that someone could hear me from outside. But as I took in a deep breath, Camille strode toward me and grabbed my wrist. Ugh. He slammed me against the wall.
さあ、マティスも一人寝は寂しいだろうし、地下室にまで戻るか。
Now then, Mathis is all alone underground. Why don't we get you down there too? He looked at me with an expression of joy unlike any I had seen before. It was as if he thought there was no way a frail couple like us could escape from the mansion. Or rather, it looked like he was actually enjoying seeing us try to fight back. Let me go! I won't follow orders as someone who says such horrible things to Mathis. My struggling accidentally landed my elbow in his cheek. His cheek slowly began to redden and swell. I felt a chill at the thought that he was about going to snap.
すっげえ強烈。あんた見かけによらず結構気が強いんだな。
Oh wow, nice one. You're much stronger than you look. I was totally confused, hearing his strange praise and seeing his happy face. He then stared at me for a few seconds.
気が変わった。あんたならきっと違和感なく飾ることができるはずだよな。
I changed my mind. I'm sure you'd fit in really well. Camille crossed his arms and nodded as if he came to some decision. Fit in well? Excuse me? What are you talking about?
いやほら、あんたも見た通り、あの研究室って全体的に陰鬱っていうか、物寂しい雰囲気がするだろ。
Well, as you know, as you've seen, the lab has a gloomy, dreary sort of atmosphere.
ぬいぐるみとかも飾ってないし、あそこで眠るロザリーも一人じゃ寂しがってると思うんだよな。
This place lacks a certain cozy touch. Rosalie must be lonely all by herself, without even a stuffed doll to keep her company. Something was wrong. What he's saying seems so ordinary that it couldn't be unusual in another conversation.
だからロザリーも
So I was thinking,
自分によく似た妹とかがいれば喜ぶんじゃないかなって思って。
maybe Rosalie would be happy if she had a younger sister who looked just like her. With that, Camille took some flowers out of the vase that decorated the hallway. I took a shaky step back. Camille came closer to me with the same smile on his face.
俺と同じ立場になれば、マティスも実験にもう少し協力的になってくれるかもしれない。だろ?
I'm sure Mathis will be a lot more cooperative if he's in the same situation as me, don't you think? That was the last I would hear of his voice. A single blow knocked me out cold. As I held on to the regrets of being unable to fulfill my promise, my consciousness slipped away from me. could hear bubbles rising. I was in this dimly lit laboratory of horrors. Upon waking up, I immediately noticed a change inside the room. There was a giant tank filled with water that used to hold the body of a dead woman. I knew there was only one such tank, but now I saw two. Inside a new tank, I saw something swaying to and fro. Beautiful golden hair waved in the water. But the golden hair wasn't that of Camille's lost love. It belonged to the person I wanted alive, and the person I asked to leave me behind. The hair of a very precious person. Why? One step at a time, I hobbled toward a glass tank. I called out to her in a hoarse voice, but her eyelids didn't move. Why? Why? Where did I go wrong? Was it when I told her to run? Was it when I dragged her into my vengeance? Or was it because I met her at all? It hurts. It was the roar of a wild beast. My strength all but escaped me, and I slowly fell to my knees and groveled at the tank. Tears rolled down my cheeks as I wished to awaken from this nightmare. Suddenly, someone gently placed his hand on my shoulder.
どうだ、マティス。これでお前も俺の気持ちが少しは分かったろ。
Fuck you. Fuck you. How does it feel, Mathis? I hope you know how I feel now.
もし彼女を蘇らせたいと願うのなら、
If you want to bring her back to life.
兄さんの研究に抵抗も反抗もせず、心よく協力してくれないか?
I'm going to need to be compliant and work with your dear older brother, understand? His gentle voice. It was the same as in the memories I had of my brother. Everything would be fine if I listened to him. Someone or something in my mind whispered those words into my ear. Before long, I nodded at the kind and commanding voice. Amongst the prostitutes was a whispered rumor. If one went out to the shores on a moonless night with a bottle filled with water and flowers that they raised up to the starry sky, two beautiful men would appear on a boat to deliver the person out to the country. At one point, the deliverers were thought to be Barreau, but that had not been proven. And now, a few women believed the rumor and arrived at the quiet night's shores in search of salvation elsewhere.
やあ、可憐なお嬢さんたち。 自由への船旅をお求めかな。
Why, good evening, ladies. Do you seek safe passage to freedom?
その身に宿している生命の花さえいただければ、
If you would give me the flower of life that resides within you,
この配達人があなたたちをどんな国にだってお届けしましょ
I,
う。
the deliverer, shall take you anywhere you wish. The beautiful deliverer was waiting to make your dreams come true. If you dream of death, that is. And I think we just finished Mathis's roots, yay! So if you don't know, in Fear Evermore, you are forced to get the bad roots, the bad ends, before you can get the good one. From my understanding. What I've read and been told. So I'm pretty sure we just finished Mathis's roots. Fuck you, Gene. You piece of shit. So there we go. I'm kind of glad I didn't end it an hour ago when I was originally planning to. Or was it 2 hours ago? Either way. I think we have officially finished his roots. At least one of them. I need to do some research and find out the qualifications or the specification. Yeah, what's necessary to get his good end. If I need to go through the other characters first, or if I just need to replay the game. I think I might just need to replay the game. And then we'll be like given new choices. Maybe look at a flowchart. But yeah, that seemed like it was a conclusive ending rather than just a bad end. I mean, it was a bad end, but you know, rather than a dead end, I guess. Yeah, Despair delivers. Alright, so technically... Alright, so what we're learning now, each route, at least the first parts, are gonna have 4 chapters. And then when you replay the routes, I imagine over here, another little, another choice is gonna pop up that allows you to get the good end. And maybe there's like an epilogue, so maybe in that route there'll be like a chapter 5. I imagine when you unlock that, you might get like it might unlock a chapter 5 or something, or maybe it just stops at chapter 4, I don't know. But yes, that was Mathis's bad end routes. I can't speak. I've been speaking for 7 hours. Oh, whew. Yes, yay. I guess, I don't know. It's still crazy that what happened, which has happened. Like, Jean is actually Camille, and that's Mathis is a robot. But no, I don't think his feelings are like fake. Because like he was still born technically from he was technically born like as a human. I mean, he wasn't purely created by technology. There was other factors involved. Human factors, biological human factors. It was just that his mind was tampered with as a child, in the unborn, I don't know, embryo, right? I guess let's just say that. But yes, before he was born, his mind was messed with and inserted memories. But I mean, he was still born a human. So he isn't like completely made from just technology or whatever. So I believe his emotions, his feelings, are actually genuine. Maybe a part of them are influenced by Camille. But I think that's only a small part. I don't even know if Camille actually did insert any of his memories into him. But yeah. I don't know. Either way, that's gonna be it for tonight. It's been a long stream. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I feel like I need time to process things. I didn't quite need the tissues yet, but I did tear up on multiple occasions. But yes. I guess if someone would ask me again if your Che Evermore is as dark as people are saying, I guess yes. I mean, it could be worse, easily. It could easily be worse, but at the same time. I mean, there wasn't anything, like, super gruesome about it. It was just messed up situation. And, well, I mean, and the fact that Jean killed, like, 200 prostitutes, or I don't know. Is there a number? I don't think there is. But yeah. All right. So yeah. Okay. Sorry. I need to get myself together. Anyway, that's it for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow with Anime Nights, where I think we're probably gonna end up continuing the anime we started last week, or after finishing that one, the bar, isekai food one. I think we'll end up finishing that one. So that'll be tomorrow. And then Sunday, I don't think I have any plans. Maybe we'll do more of this. Or maybe we'll do something else. Maybe I'll take the day off. I don't know. But yeah, that's where we are. So I hope you enjoyed this. Go check out some of my other social medias. I always forget to plug that. What else am I supposed to say? I don't know. I'm so bad at these. I hope you come back next time for more despair and pain-inducing moments. Join me in my pain and suffering. Oh, but yes, thanks for coming. And I hope everyone has a nice day, evening, night, or morning. feel so sad for Mathis. Poor baby boy. Alright, I'm gonna go. I need sleep. And also food. I'm kind of hungry still. So I'll see you all again later. Bye-bye. Don't be an asshole and create homunculuses. Bye-bye.